Good afternoon, everybody at Grand Living. Coming to you once again virtually for a Food for Thought segment. This month, I thought we could do something a little healthy and refreshing after the holidays. We've all had lots of cookies and eggnog, as at least I know I have. So, time to tone things down just a little bit. And it's also been requested that we offer a Waldorf salad for lunch. So we're going to go through the process of making the Waldorf salad today. Why is it called Waldorf, you ask? Well, it originated in 1896 at the Waldorf Astoria Hotel in New York for a charity ball, and caught on and has been popular ever since. Now, originally it did not contain nuts, but most modern versions do. So we're going to start there by toasting half a cup of walnuts. I actually preheated my pan this time, so we don't have to wait too long for that. I'm starting to learn finally. So we want a dry pan, no oil, no anything in there, just the nuts, and we'll stir them occasionally until they start to get toasty and smell really nice and nutty and get a little brown. Now, while those are toasting, we'll come back and we'll start our mise en place. I don't know if you remember me talking about that before, but everything in its place also means prepping and chopping all of our ingredients. So, we're going to start with 2 apples, 2 celery stalks, a cup of grapes, and we're going to prep all these. We're going to cut the grapes in half. We want everything to be about the same size in here, so when you eat the salad, you don't have huge chunks next to small chunks. So you get a little bit of everything in each bite. The sweet, the crunchy, the creamy, and the savory, all at the same time. Now I can smell my walnuts starting to toast over here, so I'm going to shake them around a little bit. And we'll turn that down. If I were really into my mise en place, I would have had these cut already, because I'm sure I don't need to demonstrate how to cut a grape in half. But, I mean, you could cut them this way too, but I prefer the lengthwise. You'll notice I have 1 Fuji apple, which is a sweeter apple, and 1 Granny Smith, which is a little more tart, because I like the contrast in the salad of the sweet and tart. Of course, also originally only green apples were used, as well as only green grapes, so it was all kind of the same color. Everything was green in the salad. But I think visually it's not very exciting, so we're changing it up a little bit. Add a little more color, a little more pizzazz, and a little more excitement. And let's stir our walnuts again. And they're getting nice and toasty, so I'm going to kill the heat and put them in this little bowl to cool off a little bit before we chop them up. Now, apples. One way, there are different ways to cut apples. A lot of people cut them down the center and quarter them, but I like to cut in a square around the core. It saves a process, or it saves a step, and it also gives you the right size chunks for your salad. So you just want to do 2 slices in a row until you get to the core, and then just get rid of that part. Then you take your apple slices and determine how thick you want your pieces to be, and we're going about a 1/2 inch on all of our ingredients here. So we'll come across this direction, and then we'll turn the whole stack, keeping them together, and do another 1/2 inch this way, and then we have these perfect little squares of apple that we'll throw in there with our grapes. So 2 apples roughly makes about 1.5 1.5 cup per apple, so about 3 cups of apples in yield from 2 apples. And that was 1 cup of grapes. So 3 cups apples, 1 cup grapes so far. There's our red, our Fuji sweet apple, and now our tart Granny Smith. And then as soon as you get your apples in there, I would put a little bit of fresh lemon juice on there just to keep them from turning brown. And it's also a nice ingredient for the dressing of the salad. We want that acidity and freshness and brightness of the lemon. And in addition, we're going to make it a little more fresh and exciting by adding some lemon zest, which is not traditional, but I think it'll be a nice pop of lemon acidity in your salad. So I'm going to add about half a lemon worth of the fresh zest. And then we'll squeeze a little bit of juice on there, about a tablespoon. Catch the seeds if they're falling out. Go ahead and stir that around to coat our apples, keep them from turning brown. Already a nice mix of colors in there. Now our celery. So 2 stalks will make about 1 cup of celery. So 1 cup of grapes, 1 cup of celery, 3 cups of apples. I'm going to cut this in about a 1/2 inch dice as well. Again, keep consistency with all of our ingredients. I'll throw that on into the mix. Oops, that one didn't get properly chopped. We'll get rid of that brown bit. Now our walnuts have cooled. Give them a little rough chop, just again so they're all consistent. We don't want really big chunks dominating our salad here. We want it all to meld together in a harmonious bite. Put that into the mix. Now, the dressing for this salad can go a few different ways as well. Traditionally, it's mayonnaise based, so I'm using a light mayo to try and make it more healthy. You can also use a Greek yogurt or plain unflavored yogurt, which will make it a little more tangy, but also add protein and reduced fat. So that's definitely a benefit when we're looking to start out healthy here. So I've got a half cup of light mayo. I also, this should have lemon juice, but we put lemon juice on our apples, so we don't need to add more here. We already have the acidity in with our apple mix. So it's pretty simple. It's a pinch of salt, and you can just put that right in with the apples either, but I'm gonna mix it up first. And a little fresh cracked pepper, and about a tablespoon of sugar or honey. We're gonna use honey, because it's a little more natural. Again, just accentuating the sweetness. We'll mix all that up. And then we will mix that with the rest of our ingredients. And also here, I like fresh herbs. I like the flavor and freshness that they bring to a salad. So we're going to add a little bit of that just for some garnish and one more color to make it pop. So traditionally, just do a little bit of fresh parsley, which I think a lot of people think doesn't have any flavor, but I think it's delicious. I'm using flat leaf Italian parsley, but curly parsley will work as well. It tastes the same. So we'll chop that up. Good pinch of that. I'm also going to put a little bit of fresh thyme in there. One of my favorite fresh herbs. Used in a lot of things. Definitely, I would say fresh thyme. Dried thyme will not be as good. It totally has a different flavor profile than the fresh. And you want to pick the leaves off here, but you want to avoid these stems that look like little sticks because they're kind of woody and tough, and you don't want to bite it at that. We'll chop that up. Now here's where you can get a little more creative. Other ways you can modify this salad are, again, to make a bigger meal out of it, you can add some diced cooked chicken or turkey. You can add some dried fruits. I'm going to do a little golden raisin and cranberry. Again, more color and another texture. So we have now a sweet, chewy element to pair with the juicy, crunchy apples, the toasty, crunchy nuts, and the sweet grapes. Just thoroughly mix it up so it's all lightly coated. And then at this point, you can refrigerate until you're ready to serve. Because presentation is everything. Then we'll garnish with a little more parsley and some of the fresh celery leaf, which, if you didn't know it's edible, it is, and it's very delicious. So there we have it. Nice side salad, or again, add chicken for a larger, heartier meal. The Waldorf salad. This will actually be served tomorrow for lunch, so you may have already filled this menu out, but anyway, look for this tomorrow on the lunch delivery room service cart for a sample. Have a great day, and take care.